Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome on this snowy day. Today we have Ronda Laird from the Remax Advantage office. She's going to talk about how she uses Property Boost to get leads for sellers and buyers as well. She's a power user, and she's also the team lead of Red Oak Realtors, which her husband is her partner. And just a few stats on Property Boost in 2024. So this is Property Boost is a listing ad. It's just a bunch of ads for your listings, and it's done for you through Boldtrail. You don't have to think about the audience and who's going to see this and what images to use or whatever it is. You just go into Boldtrail and you find your listing and do the Property Boost through there, and you just decide if you want it to run for like 3 days or 7 days or how long you want it. It will give you a budget, and then it just runs the ad for you. And anyone that clicks on that and enters their info basically will come directly to your CRM, and then you can follow up with them and hopefully convert them. So a few stats from 2024 for the whole company. There was a total of 56 ads with a total of 101,445 impressions, a total clicks of 4,129, 45 shares of that ad, 701 form submissions. So I believe that was 701 leads. And the cost per lead was $5.76. So if you converted those leads, or at least one lead, you got your money back, basically. But enough about this. Rhonda?
Okay, awesome. So thank you so much, Anna, for having me join. It's a very snowy, cold day here. So I think we're staying close to the home front and working on some of our leads that we got through Property Boost, actually. So real quick, we when we formed our team, Property Boost has been a huge game changer as far as getting leads to work. Um, it's one of them things you can't sell a house to someone who's not on the other end answering your phone call. So you have to generate leads somewhere. I know a lot of us work our sphere. I love my sphere of influence. I love my Facebook friends. However, sometimes you need an added boost to have those warm, quality conversations. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today with the Property Boost. So going into your Mass Tech KV Core. If you scroll down on the left-hand side of your screen, you will see where it says Lead Engine. That lead engine will pop up for a few different avenues that you could take to generate leads for your business. Specifically today, I'm going to talk about the Property Boost one because that has literally been the biggest bang for our buck when it comes to purchasing leads through this. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about Property Boost, why it's important for your business, especially if you have listings. How many leads to expect? We're going to go through some real numbers today to kind of give you guys an idea of what you're looking at. Cost versus return on investment. Definitely something you always want to consider how much money you're putting into it versus how much you're getting out of it. And then I'll just talk a little bit about best practices that you can take with you to nurture these leads, to drip on these leads, and to utilize the tools that we have here with Remax through Boldtrail to really maximize the leads that we're getting through Property Boost. So correlating it all together into one quick presentation this morning.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
Uh, Guys, feel free to ask questions in the chat or raise your hand, and we'll answer those questions as you go as well. I know that there's going to be a Q&A at the end, but if you write them on the chat, then maybe we can do it all at the end, unless it's, you know, easier to follow along as we go. But I also wanted to point out that you can also run ads, not just on your listings, but if you're doing open houses for anyone else in the office, if you have their permission to run the ad, you will be able to do that too, through Property Boost as well.
awesome. All right. and I don't know if I see the chat feature. So Anna, please interrupt me if we do have questions that come through. So real quick on what a property boost is, Anna hit it spot on earlier. It's a boost for your listings. I utilize it for any just listed. I utilize it for any price reduction, or any houses that might be sitting a little longer than they should. So I use this advertisement for those specific reasons. I don't use it for open house because generally I like to run my ads for 7 days to capture the most leads. When it's ran for an open house, usually doing one open house during that 7 day period. So I like to do just listed or price reduction. And by all means, you run your business the way you need to run it. It's just something I don't do. I don't do the open houses very often. Um,
You can
so
also do
with
just
these,
sold. You can also do
yes,
sold.
the just sold is a great one. So that one, if you utilize just sold, you will get listings. That is where people is going to say, how much is my home worth? They're going to see this home sold. How much did it sell for? Do you want to know the value of your home? They're going to click yes. It's going to automatically capture that lead as a seller lead. Those are very good. So if you do after you sell it and it's sold, you can put it out there and it won't tell them the amount unless they click into that ad. So the ad will say just sold, see how much your neighbor sold their house for. It's going to click into it and it's going to tell them after they log into your site how much the house was sold for and how much theirs would be worth. Those are very nice to gather those seller leads. You just got to make sure you do it to capitalize on the market in the heat of just sold. You want to do that early on after you get that closed. So with the buyer leads and the Facebook ads, it does capture that. So a lot of these that are coming through, even if they want to know the value, and it could come through as a seller ad, generally they're probably buyers, or vice versa. You think it's a buyer and it might be a seller looking at houses that are for sale in their area just to kind of get a market analysis for themselves. So even though it says a buyer or it says a seller, always, confirm their needs because it could be vice versa. Um, the nurture aspect of Property Boost. This is probably the most important thing I need to tell you guys about Property Boost because we are in real estate. We can be very reactive. And it's good. Someone calls, wants to list their house. Great, I'm going to list it. Someone calls, wants to buy a house. We're going to help them buy. However, what are we doing in a time frame where they're just dabbling, where they're just interested in looking, where they're not sure if they want to sell and buy? Property Boost joins in at that sweet spot. So when you're looking at the average lead through Property Boost, it's not going to be that reactive quick hit you might be looking for. It's going to be a proactive strategy based on you for nurturing your leads. So the average timeline is 21 to 24 months. Um, that sounds like a long time, but I promise you it goes by very quickly. And within that 21 to 24 months, you can really gauge and confirm their commitment to you as their agency. It's very important that these clients know who they're going to be working with right off the bat. And if you have been there from 21 to 24-month period and you're the one nurturing them, you're the one emailing them, texting them, sending them properties, when they're ready to go, they're going to remember your name. They're not going to look on Facebook for the next realtor. They're going to call you. So that's where Property Boost is probably the most important thing. It's a proactive, nurturing strategy. It's not reactive. They're not calling through Zillow, ready to look at the house today. But it is a very proactive, nurturing strategy. But it correlates well with the other places of business, including our CRM, where we should be utilizing this as a more of a nurturing strategy for our clients. So going into an actual Property Boost, this is one of mine. So just when I go in here to my Property Boost, it'll give me an option. So on this one, I'm going to do a price drop because we did just lower the price. Um, so I went in, I changed the configuration to price drop. We went in all this. It'll show you exactly what the listing is, how much it is. It'll tell you in order to boost this property, you must be the listing agent or have permission. Make sure you have permission to do that, and always get permission through text or email. Um, that way you're just covering your basis there. But like Anna said, if you're hosting an open house for a former colleague or a colleague, you want to make sure you're getting that permission. You'll have your permission to advertise through Property Boost, so I can generate some traction. Just make sure you're getting that in text or email. Okay, so how much does it cost? So you can select all your ad packages are here. The cheapest one is 3 days. 3 days isn't long enough for anything. I really don't feel 3 days is long enough to have a good ad campaign. We tried it, but I think for an extra $10 and adding 4 more days to that, it's a better bang for your buck. You're going to run it through the weekend. You're going to be running it through all the days people are more fluent online. You're going to have more ad views. And if you can see here, the difference is 1,000 more people will look at that ad. So that's a lot of people looking at the ad. And as you can see, just because they're looking at the ad doesn't mean they're going to be a lead. They have to register all the way through to become a lead. So they know that someone's probably going to be calling them because they did put in their information. So here is what we did last year as far as Red Oak Realtors team. We ran a lot of ads last year. We did 40 ads. We ended up with 69,000 impressions, 2,998 clicks, 34 people shared our listings. We ended up with 469 leads. The cost per lead is $5.65. And remember, it's a longer term turnaround. So you're looking at the proactive strategy. I still have plenty of prospects in our KV core right now. A lot of them are now active. They're going to be buying in the next spring and summer market. So it really is a nurturing campaign. However, based on these results, out of the ones that we had close 2 buyers and 1 seller. So let's say we had $2,600 was what we paid, 40 ads times $65, $2,600, and we ended up closing 2 buyers and 1 seller. And I will tell you, we made a lot more back than $2,600 off of those. So it really is a great way to gain business. And like I said, we still have a KV core full of prospects that have already converted over to active buyers who are registered and pre-approved.
So if you guys remember earlier, I gave you the stats. My screen looked pretty much like hers. The company total for 2024, there were 56 ads run, and Ronda ran 40 of those 56 ads.
Damn. I didn't even know that.
Yep. So power user right there.
Wow, that's awesome. Like I said, great way to get people in your pipeline, because if you're not actively working on your business, you're not going to have business to work. So you have to actively be bringing in new business to work your business. I can sit here all day and work my pipeline and I got pipeline and my listings. However, if I don't actively work on my business, this is working on my business, then I'm not going to be anywhere more than what I am now. So I have to continue to add to that pipeline. And this is how you do it. This is a game changer, really. So and I'm going to send this out. It's a lot of information, but I really wanted to make sure you guys were aware of, kind of just some quick tips, conversion techniques, because talking to a prospect is totally different than talking to your friend about buying a house. So you gotta do stuff a little differently to kind of break the ice, to make sure they feel comfortable with you as an agent. And I said it before, you drip on them. You drip on them so much that when they think real estate agent, they see your face because you keep emailing them and texting them information. So what we do, and we don't do it all the time, we really strive to do this. Anytime we get an active lead, we try to call within 5 minutes because the sooner you reach out, the higher the likelihood you're going to get conversion. Um, we do that after receiving their information. They don't answer. We do just leave a quick, friendly voicemail, just offering assistance. Next, we send a text. Always send a text because some people just will not answer that phone. I'm some people sometimes. So make sure that you're sending that text immediately because then they know who called them. And just let them know you're just looking to help them. Try to call you, blah blah blah. Um, and then send an email. I know it sounds like a lot, but then send an email. Send an email with all the formal stuff. Let them know that you're happy to help them with their home search. I gave a kind of like a suggestion of what to put in the body of the email. However, in KV Core, you can pick from a plethora of templates that they already have built in to Boldtrail that you can utilize for this. So find one. Sometimes I'll play around with it. Sometimes I'll do an email campaign and I'll send one or two of the template ones to certain buyers just to see what traction I get off of those. And those usually get more traction than some of mine that I wrote up myself. So sometimes it's good to use the templates just to kind of gain that, oh, okay, I'm going to look at this email today. Also in KV Core, you can see when they open emails, which is nice.
Yeah, and so there is a campaign already for this called Property Boost and Facebook Ads campaign, and it has three tasks in it. One is an automatic text message, which says, "Hey, thanks for checking out property info on our website just now. Are you looking to buy, sell now, or just browsing?" And then it has the agent's name, and then there's a phone call. And this phone call is not what you're said about calling in 5 minutes. This is a call that the system will call the agent and then connect them with the lead. And it's 30 minutes after the lead comes in. And then the next day, there's a task action that is assigned to you to set up property alerts to that lead if they don't answer, if you don't manage to get in contact with them. So this is just a simple campaign that is in the system that you can activate or add it the way that you want as well. Like change the
Those
call to five
campaigns
minutes instead of 30 minutes.
those campaigns are great, especially if you have a property that you know you're going to get a lot of leads off of. All my ones under 300,000, a property boost the heck out of that, and I know I'm going to get a lot of leads. I always get a lot of leads out of those. So what I do on those are turned on. It automatically texts them, and you know what? Get off my back. They weren't my client yet anyway. So just moving on. However, you will get people who text you back off of that, which is great. And then you continue with that conversation and that follow up. All right, so effective lead conversion continued. This is just some things I utilize Boldtrail for with those leads. We utilize them for follow-ups, so new leads forgotten. We create tasks through Boldtrail, set reminders for second calls, follow-up. Consistency is the key to this. No one wants to hear it, but working leads is a numbers game. You need to work as many leads as you can to get a buyer or a seller. It is a numbers game. Make yourself a cup of tea, cup of coffee, and really work those leads that are coming through for Property Boost. Because if you're not working them, I promise you they're getting your emails and then they're going to another agent and they're buying that house that you're sending them. So make sure you're working your leads. Other than that, that is kind of our strategy. That's how we're working our business right now, and it's doing very well. And I'll continue with the Property Boost strategy going into this year. Probably tweak a few things, but yeah, it's very beneficial place for you to get to gain some leads. Any questions for me?
I have one.
Okay, ask away, DR.
I know we've done this with several other commissions, Inc. and Zillow and Realtor. Do you find there's a better time of the day that when you reach out to clients, you get more response?
I tell you what, I know no one wants to call in the evenings, but I was back to back calls yesterday during dinner time. They were calling me back. So if you have time to separate some calls in the evening, how we do it is we don't call before 10. I don't feel like I want to get calls before 10 for that. So we don't call before 10. So we 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 schedule our time in the morning, and then if we know that it's probably someone we need to touch base with and really want to touch base with them, I will send them a text. I'm like, hey, missed you. I'm going to call you again at 4 o'clock today to see if I can touch base. So I always kind of let them know I missed you, but I'm going to be calling you again. So they know that I'm going to call them. I'm going to call them until they tell me not to call them again, is basically how we do these leads. So if I don't call them, if I don't reach them in the morning, I'm going to try them again in the evening. If I don't get them in the evening, I'm going to try again the next day until I get to that 4 or 5 touch points. And then it's like, okay, they're not answering my calls. They just kind of go into a nurturing campaign. But when I first get that lead, that's when it's most important
Yep.
to make those calls.
Thank you, Rhonda. That's pretty cool. I'm going to speak at the group for just 10 seconds. For 200 bucks a month, you've created a repeatable business.
Yes. Yep, I definitely have.
I'll be quiet now.
Awesome. Well, I know that was a lot. If anybody has any more questions, I'd love to answer them, but I'll definitely send out this PowerPoint, and maybe I can get on the schedule and I can go through kind of in depth what we do with our KV core and how we manage our leads once we get them in there.
Yep, that'd be great. Thank you, Rhonda.
So,
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
yeah.
Rhonda.
Thanks,
All right.
Rhonda.
Thank you guys for listening to me, and you guys have a wonderful snow day.
You did a wonderful, wonderful job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
Bye.